Hello, everyone. A very warm welcome to all of you. Thank you for joining us today for the webinar MSc Biology at Ashoka. I am Kangana Verma. I am a final year student of MSc Biology here at Ashoka University. Joining me today are some of Ashoka's most distinguished faculty members. We have with us Professor Anurag Agrawal, who serves as the Dean of Biosciences and Health Research at the Trivedi School of Biosciences, Ashoka University. Professor Anurag's academic journey began with completing his graduate medical education at the All India Institute of Medical Sciences in Delhi. He then pursued further specialization in internal medicine, pulmonary disease, and critical care at Baylor College of Medicine in Houston, USA. This was followed by his attainment of a PhD in physiology from Delhi University. His primary research centers around respiratory biology, while his broader interests encompass a novel vision of health and healthcare viewed through the lenses of emerging technologies. He is a renowned physician scientist who has received numerous accolades, including the prestigious Shanti Swaroop Bhatnagar Prize and the Sun Pharma Foundation Award. Welcome, Professor. Our second speaker is Professor Kasturi Mitra, who is an Associate Professor of Biology at Ashoka University. Professor Mitra joined Ashoka as a DBT Wellcome Trust Senior Fellow. She ran a federally funded research program as an independent faculty at the University of Alabama at Birmingham, USA. There, she also directed an undergrad program fostering student learning from hands-on experience towards foraging customized learning paths. Her educational training is from Presidency College, Calcutta for BSc, Calcutta University for MSc, CCMB Hyderabad for PhD, and NIH Bethesda USA for postdoc. Her long-standing research interest is in the cellular organelles called mitochondria that are classically known as the powerhouse of the cell. Her research has been featured in podcasts and newsletters, and she serves as reviewer for various leading scientific journals and international funding agencies. Welcome, Professor. Before we begin, I would like to inform our audience that the deadline to apply to the MSc Biology program at Ashoka is 26th April 2024. I urge you to apply early and secure your seat. Now, without further delay, let's get started. I also request our audience to kindly type any questions they might have in the Q&A box provided on your Zoom screen, and we will address all of them towards the end of the session. Over to you, professors.
Thanks. I'd invite Kasturi to go first.
Okay, thank you, Anurag. Let me share my screen. I hope it's visible.
Yes, it is, Kasturi.
Thank you, Anurag. Thanks, Kangana, for such a wonderful introduction, and welcome everybody to the first webinar of this year, where we talk about our master's program, which this is the third intake of our master's program. We started 2 years back. The first cohort is actually about to graduate and find their places in the larger society successfully. So we will take you through the program and our revamped program this year, which is wider and with more choices. That's the main point of attraction for our program. Before we go to our MSc Biology program, I would like to tell you a little bit about Ashoka University if you already don't know. Ashoka University has this unique idea and commitment to provide students with foundational knowledge as well as disciplinary depth, while encouraging them to find unexplored connection across disciplines. That's very important for Ashoka University, to be able to walk across disciplines. That actually leads to innovative outcomes. So we expect our students make new fields. Our students actually come up with innovative solutions for the very pressing societal problems. Here, what you're seeing in the pictures is basically a glimpse of various things happening at Ashoka. The research images that you're seeing, quantitative as well as descriptive research in organisms. You see honeybees here. You see somebody peeking through a microscope. Microscopy is a good advanced field to engage in at Ashoka. You see students engaged in beautiful classroom and in the library, and also in societal just activities. They've gathered together for a just cause at the atrium. And you also see the beautiful campus of Ashoka. And the most important thing here is Professor Harold Vermas, who's a Nobel laureate who visited us. And we keep inviting visitors from across the world, including including Nobel laureates, as you see here. We just had Professor Matthew Freeman from Oxford visiting us. Okay, my slides are not moving. Oh, maybe this one. So when you come to Ashoka, what you get is the coveted Ashoka ecosystem, which is built by the inspiring educators, you, the students, and of course, the courses the inspiring educators offer. Then the educators are not only educating, but actually creating knowledge because they're all involved in cutting edge research. The students get not only to witness them doing research, but also get involved, deeply involved. Even the undergraduate students get deeply involved in research. And we are, as I said before, committed to holistic development of our students so that they can address pressing societal problems. And we are extremely committed with a generous financial aid system, which is need-based and just. Coming to the School of Biology and the Department of Biology, which actually hosts this MSc Biology program, we have undergraduate program. We have an advanced scholars program for the undergraduates where they only do research. We, of course, have PhD programs and the master's program. As I told you, this is our third intake. The engagement in intellectual curiosity to actually foster interdisciplinary perspectives is very attractive at Ashoka. So you will see that multidimensional approaches are taken to study and teach biology across various scales. And of course, we have a world-renowned faculty involved in various research areas of significance. You will see here, what you're seeing in the slide is basically the various multidisciplinary thematic areas that our faculty are involved in for their research, ranging from biophysics, biochemistry, structural biology, to behavior, ecology, evolution, and everything in between, including computational mathematical biology, where students from other departments can also find interest in, which is not hardcore biology, but then it cross-talks with computer science department and mathematics department. As you see here, we range from single molecules to organism to ecosystem, as we are interested in solving larger problems. We are also interested in diseases. Biology, is part of biomedicine. Disease is a core part of biomedicine, and the diseases that we currently study are cancer, various rare diseases, cardiometabolic disorders, and antimicrobial resistance. I put this etc. because this is a very small list of the various possibilities that one can get at Ashoka. Cross-departmental activities happen between biology and physics, biology, environmental science, chemistry, history, computer science, psychology. We have a very interesting effort going on with the Department of History, where we collaborate with archaeologists and gather samples to do genomics and metabolic analyte assessment. You are seeing here a representation of our world-class faculty that includes various Shantishwar Bhatnagar awards, including Anurag here. And you also see Hiroshi Hamada, who is a distinguished visiting professor from Japan. He is engaged with Ashoka and involved in research as well. And you see various other young and senior faculties who all have their own accolades and run their own research program with external research grants. So why do I talk about research in a master's program webinar? Because our program is research intensive. So for the first year, you are basically building up your specialization. You are totally customizing your specialization with the open electives. And in the second year, you are only doing research. So in the semester one, you are taking core courses with few electives. And in semester two, you have open electives, and those are open across the university. You can also take history as an elective if you are developing a specialization for, say, history of science, right? So the choices are wide open, and that is the USP of the MSc Biology program in Ashoka. And we want our students to actually build new fields with their own engagement and initiatives, with our help, of course. And once you declare your specialization, you will do research in 2-semester long research. You can also include the summer in that. And you'll propose your thesis idea, and then you'll defend your thesis at the end, in the last semester. So these are the basic tenets of our MSc Biology program. It's mandatory residency. The 2-year program has mandatory residency for the fact that it's research intensive. So you have to stay on campus or in the annexed areas that Ashoka will make arrangements for. We need motivated students because it's all self-driven, of course, guided by a graduate advisory committee. The students have to drive themselves to create their own specializations. So you have the world open to you, so to say, to actually satisfy your curiosity and design your own learning modules. That's where the customization comes. Auditing options also exist, which is very unique to Ashoka, where you do not earn credit, but you can sit in classes, have the courses mentioned in your transcript as audited courses. So a lot of students actually opt for the audits. And they are also wide open across the university. Mandatory 1-week preparatory biology or mathematics bootcamp. If you're coming from the field of biology, you'll get a mathematics bootcamp. If you're coming from the field of mathematics or computer science, you'll get a biology bootcamp to come up to the same level with the rest of the class to learn the core and the elective classes that you choose. As I said, year one involves building up your specialization through lecture courses, and year two involves research. And the research can happen in academia or industry within Ashoka, beyond Ashoka. And of course, there are optional summer courses one can opt for. These are some examples of the fundamental and applied life and health sciences specializations that one can think of at Ashoka. Biophysics, biochemistry, stem cell biology, digital health, which is a very new field that Anurag will tell you more about, neurosciences, computational biology, climate change, biodiversity, evolution, ecology, and integrative nutrition genomics. So you can not only, these are just examples, you can name your own specialization based on the training that you are designing. And you can also combine these two topics. For example, computational neuroscience. If you are a student from computer science and you want to address a question in neuroscience, so basically you're designing your own specialization and calling it computational neuroscience. This is just an example. Digital health and genomics could be also another combination, and the possibilities are many. Here you see the partnerships. Of course, this is a glimpse only of the partnerships that the Department of Biology has, of course, as part of a larger Ashoka ecosystem. Ashoka is very well connected into the international, very well connected internationally to various universities abroad. We hold a study abroad fair. There is a separate office of external and global engagement. They run regular programs and activities and initiatives for the students to get engaged in so that the students are exposed to the international community. There are countless international partners. We get so the list keeps growing every year. We are engaged in a Franco-Indian campus activity along with other two universities in India, where we hold exchange programs with a university in France, where students can go visit for short stretch or longer stretch for research. So your MSc research part of it can also be done in France and University of Côte d'Azur. And this is not the only one. This is, of course, through the Franco-Indian campus, but we can engage with many other universities through our MOUs for your research to happen in collaboration with Ashoka. We are also in collaboration with various hospitals. I'm showing you an example of the Max Hospital here in Delhi. So your research can also be translational, and then you can have a project going on with Max where you're basically looking at patients. So what do you want to do after MSc Biology? You can go for competitive scholarships like Khurana, DARD, CSIR, NET. Kangana here actually is a Khurana fellowship winner for the last summer. You can do it within your research, within your study tenure at Ashoka, or after that, CSIR NET is usually applied. You would sit for those exams in the second year, and we have successful students already within the first 2 years. Research placements can happen, as I said, within and beyond Ashoka. We have students placed in INSTEM, in Bangalore, in IGIB. And of course, you can do research at Ashoka in one of the world-renowned labs. Jobs, we have a separate office, career development office at Ashoka, which helps students of any level to get jobs. And we have had success there also. Our students have, for the first cohort who are graduating, they've got successful placements and accepted offers. Here I decided to actually put up this picture featuring Sukriti Maiti, one of our students from the first cohort, who actually won the third prize in an open competition where PhD and postdocs took part. So our MSc Biology students can compete with PhD and postdocs and win prizes. So we are very proud of them, and we want to be proud of you when you join us for the third year. And this is the application pipeline that we have. There will be a separate webinar on admissions and financial aid. But here I'll just roughly tell you that our application includes, you'll submit, there will be a portal, you'll submit the form by the deadline, and there will be an eligibility for national test if you have taken any. If you have not, you're still eligible to sit for the online entrance examination that we will conduct from our side. Admissions office, that is. And there will be shortlisting from there based on your test score, the SOP, etc., and the letters that you provide. All those information are available on the website already. And you'll sit for the shortlisted candidates will actually sit for the interview, and then decision will be made. I'll end here and give the floor to Anurag to talk other aspects or developing or widening aspects of our MSc Biology program. Anurag, over to you.
Thank you, Kasturi. Let me just pull up my slides. But what I'll basically focus on is trying to explain to you beyond what Kasturi has said about the Ashoka program as of now versus what we expect it to become during the time you people would be joining Ashoka. One of the thing that we are starting this year, the building is almost ready, is a new building for the Trivedi School of Biosciences. And I explain this in a little bit so you understand how the Ashoka ecosystem is created. So this is a view of the building, but this is the system of Ashoka. The Department of Biology, where the MSc program is anchored, is part of a Trivedi School of Biosciences with its own separate research building, and also contains centers where people who join Ashoka for education or research have opportunities. I will discuss one of these centers in further detail, the Koita Center for Digital Health at Ashoka, simply because we realize that there is a huge amount of interest in this forthcoming area, and all of those who've been using AI tools and things like that, including GPT, are realizing how powerful this is, even in biology. We have a very strong public health presence through another center called CHART, Center for Health Analytics, Research and Trends, headed by my colleague, Professor Purnima Prabhakaran, who's a community health expert. And we have some cutting edge basic biology centers as well. I'll speak a little bit less unless you guys have questions later on. So you heard a very interesting thing that Kasturi mentioned, that we hold boot camps, both in biology as well as in mathematics. The reason for that is we don't expect our master's program only to cater to biologists. We expect it to cater to anybody who's interested in the biosciences. And a reason for that is this is the century of biology, but biosciences is much more than biology. You can think of it as an intersection of the natural as well as the social sciences. So we have a very small but uniquely accomplished interdisciplinary faculty, and it's growing. And even when I say small, it is larger than many national labs of the country. The emphasis at Ashoka is very clearly both on fundamental and applied biology. And like I said, we intersect with almost everything possible, whether it's environment, evolutionary, archaeological. And I think Kasturi mentioned that you would get a glimpse of history, archaeological digs, ancient specimens coming, and how, chemistry can be applied to those specimens to get biological insights. And Professor Hamada, who was mentioned, is one of the key people in the world in developmental biology. And you can expect courses by him if you so choose. On the health side, while Ashoka and KCDH and TSP are all young, we have a substantial presence in upcoming national and global health science initiatives. In particular, there is a futuristic vision of digital health that I'll explain further at the Koita Center for Digital Health, which is an integral part anchored at the Trivedi School of Biosciences, and which will be available to all people who are pursuing master's degree with us. The state-of-the-art new building and infrastructure I talked about, but very importantly, microscopy, genomics, mass spectrometry, advanced computing already have been bought and exist. For those of you who may have a computational background, you could come to Ashoka Biological Science Masters and study large language models while having access to NVIDIA, latest chip servers. Further, for those of you who might have an interest in entrepreneurship, there is an Ashoka Innovation Center that is coming up right behind the school and connected to it. That's something very unique. We expect that many of you may want to pursue paths leading to your own companies and startups in due course of time. And this is again something very much part of what Ashoka intends to do. So the Koita Center for Digital Health, and I'm going to explain this a little bit more. Many people think of digital health as, a way to use digital technology to enable current health. At Ashoka, we see digital health as a convergence of the current revolutions going on the genomic side, the IT side, and the digital transformation of society. So we would be focused on what a future health system will be when personal genomes, digital twins, generative AI, emerging techs become routine. We recognize that in this space, much of what happens is outside conventional public academia. In fact, some of the best people in these areas you will not find even at IITs. So we are very strongly connecting to the private ecosystem, looking at the cutting edge of what is happening and the types of devices and tools that are being created and deployed. And side by side, given Ashoka has fantastic humanities and social sciences, combine these areas with social economic impact assessments because policy is a very important part. Ashoka has a center, the Isaac Center for Public Policy. So again, lots of intersections, and India needs leaders with a holistic vision for this entire area of digital health, which is as much biology as it is health science or tech. And this is something we really want to push forward. And just to give you an illustration, I mean, various departments, and you heard about how you can audit lectures, how you can audit courses, how you can select your own courses. A wide variety of courses will be coming up to the Quetta Center for Digital Health at Ashoka. And this could include intersections with departments of history for a history of science, technology, and medicine. It could include behavior with departments of psychology. It could focus on precision health, the molecular basis of health and disease, or the physiological basis with variables, or simply for people who would rather think about transforming society, look at digital transformation of society and of health. I'm not going to speak too much more with this. I will take questions on this for people who are interested, but we already have some great partnerships in place. And I would actually say the biggest Ashoka advantage, if you so choose to come here, is our great partnerships. We fully recognize that this entire area, this century of biology I'm referring to, is too big for one institution to contain. And we have the ability to work with the very best anywhere. Our faculty has a number of visiting faculty from private sector, from companies like Karkinos, companies like Goki. You will see a number of very familiar logos down below. And we have excellent opportunities at every level at Ashoka. So I'm going to end over here, and hopefully we can discuss a bit more if you have questions. Thank you.
Thank you, professors. We'll move on to the questions. So there's a question from the audience which says, is there any merit-based scholarship that is offered?
Kangan, I can take that. Thank you for the question. Ashoka is committed to providing education to all who need and in a just way. So Ashoka has developed on the foundation of financial aid, which is actually assessed by the need of the candidate. But Ashoka also understands the importance of merit and merit-based scholarships. And to be very clear, the financial aid comes into play only after the candidates have qualified to be on the merit list. Only then financial aid opens up. But this year, or rather couple of years back, Ashoka introduced merit cum means financial aid for the sciences. And this year, for the first time, Ashoka introduced a totally merit-based scholarship for the Young India Fellows, which is a postgraduate diploma. So going in those lines, we definitely know that there will be financial aid for our program, and you will come to know more about it in the financial aid webinar, maybe in like 1.5 months of time. But we are also working out on possibility of providing merit scholarship, particularly for our program. But that is not decided yet. But as I said, the financial aid only comes in once the students qualify for our merit list.
Thank you. The next question is, should we choose our specialization while applying, or do we have the flexibility to choose them while we are studying?
Okay, I can take that too. By the way, I possibly will take majority of the questions because I'm the coordinator of the MSc Biology program. Kangana is smiling. She sees me a lot. Yeah, so yes. So Kangana, you may want to answer that.
Yeah, sure. So once you are enrolled in the course, you can choose. So there are some foundational courses which are necessary for you, which help you build your foundation, and then there are courses that you can choose on the basis of your interest. From the first semester itself, you start you start choosing your specialization, and that's how you have the opportunity to choose your subjects of interest. So as in while, so you don't have, according to the question, you don't have to choose your specialization while applying. You have the flexibility to start exploring courses of your interest and then keep deciding on your specialization.
And if I can add on to that, we have the graduate advisory committee for the students, which guide the students actually to not go astray, because the options are so many, and if you're not able to think through the courses and how they're connected, you may not be able to see the path forward. So the graduate advisory committee, GSC, helps the students to stay on track, and at every level of your choices you have to justify why are you taking that course, why do you want to join that lab, why do you want to do this short research project, how it builds into your specialization, and doing so for a whole year. At the end of the first year, you declare your specialization, you word it basically as you want, and that is approved also by the graduate advisory committee.
Yeah. So moving on to the next question, are students who have given national exams but not qualified eligible for the test that will be organized by the university? Yeah, I think they want to ask if they've not qualified a national exam, will they be eligible to sit for the test that is organized by the university?
Yes. So we allow anybody who has not taken the test. There's no shortlisting before you take the test. Either you have qualified any of the national eligibility tests. The list is there on the website. If you've not, so there will be a checkbox for you to select which one you have. If you have, then you put the scores, the name of the test and the score. And if you haven't, then it automatically pushes you to the list of students who will have to go through the Ashoka conducted test, which is very much in line with the JJ Bills test, if you are aware of. So it'll be good to know how JJ Bills is conducted. We follow their questions are kind of JJ Bills type. So if you want to look that up.
Next question is, can you discuss placements and career opportunities after completing this program?
Anurag, this one possibly goes to you, at least for the newer options. Yes.
Absolutely. So in general, what we realize is that after the master's, if you're looking for high quality career placements, a lot of them would be in cutting edge industry and applied sciences. And if you look at our partner list, we have designed it in such a way. So whether we look at our partnerships, for example, with Illumina, in which case, which is about to start, we would have genomics kind of trainings running on campus. And you would find that people with such skills are heavily in demand. Now, if I were to condense all of these into high demand areas that we expect to grow in the future, digital health certainly will be amongst the top. And again, we have significant ties with industry. We don't have, typical placement fairs per se, but we have a very strong career development office, and there are lots of opportunities for internships. In fact, what we plan is, at least in digital health and many other spaces, because remember, the vision I gave you of digital health pretty much encompasses every omics, every cutting edge biological technique, every computation science. We'll have leaders from industry who are running these kinds of things, not only in the doing space, but also in the consultancy space, visiting Ashoka at least 1 to 2 people every month. And some of you may want careers in consulting as opposed to doing. Some of you may want careers in doing experimental things, and some of you may want analytical careers. So I think you will find that while it's not a job fair kind of stuff that we're organizing right now, for motivated people, the anchor points and connections we'll be creating at TSB in general, and even more specifically in digital health, will be quite useful. But of course, we will remember that it's not just about jobs. Many of you may want to pursue academia and PhD and things like that. So it will be a balance between all these things.
Yeah, so if Anurag, if I may add on to
Yes,
that, since
please.
you left on the PhD. So we have, as I said, that you can get engaged in research at Ashoka, which you can continue as a PhD at Ashoka as well. And we have allowances for students who do masters at Ashoka for them to go straight to the PhD interview, bypass the shortlisting. But that is only if you've done well in your master's program. We have visitors coming in, international visitors, also national visitors coming in for various universities and prestigious institutes. You can get engaged with them and talk about your research in their labs, which can also end up, if you do well there, you can also, get absorbed in their PhD program through the proper channel of competition that there is. So yes, so PhD is in academia. You can develop your teaching skills here as well. And that is also academia and industry, as Anurag described, with the help of our CDO office. So we believe that we will be able to place our students well.
Maybe I can add one more thing of something we're already doing that will expand further. So some of you might be aware that through data.org, Ashoka started offering online trainings elsewhere, in which about 6 months, 120 hours, people were getting trained in data science for climate change and health. Now, these types of programs will be expanded in a much more in-person, high-quality training way for a master's program. And already we found there was a tremendous interest for internships and opportunities for graduates of such programs. So I think in general, data science, seen separately from digital health or part of it as per your choice, will be a track within digital health that we'll create, but you could think of it separately. And that again is in great demand because we are going to be dealing with more and more amount of data.
Thank you, professors. The next question is, what are the national eligibility tests that are valid to apply to Ashoka? Is there a specific cutoff, or you just have to qualify the national eligibility tests?
The list is there on the website. You can look that up. And if you have taken a national eligibility test that is not on the list, the application portal will actually allow you to choose others. There will be an others choice where you select others and add the name of your test and then the score if you have them. For many tests, you do not have the score. You can write that. So there's also an option to actually upload a page saying score not available. So all options have been made to create an inclusive application portal. But ultimately, the cutoff ends up depending on the pool. So you're competing with the whole pool. We do not maintain a fixed cutoff because we want to be inclusive. But if the competition is high, the cutoff will be very high, right? So that's the positive answer, an encouraging answer, I would think.
The next question is, are there any published student-teacher research that I can look up?
Okay, so this is our third cohort intake. And the first cohort, actually, Kangana's cohort, is doing their research right now. So Kangana, you may want to share the experience of what it takes to publish, research. And you've done research in an international lab at Columbia University. This is an opportunity for you to talk about that.
Yeah, so we are, like my batch, we are in the final year of our program, which is a year-long master's thesis. So some of us are doing it on campus in the labs of our interests, and some of my batchmates are outside Ashoka as well. So it takes it takes we have a whole year, which is also very different than other universities because as per my experience, research you cannot get valid scientific results in 2 or 3 months, and for that you should have a long time to do your research properly with proper insights. And for that, we have a year-long master's thesis. And yeah, so we are currently doing that. And I was fortunate enough to be selected for Khurana program for scholars last summer, where I got the opportunity to work at Columbia University in a neuroscience lab for the summer. And I spent my summer working on transgenerational epigenetic inheritance. And my specialization is also in behavioral neuroscience. So that's how I got a summer experience at an international university. And here I am undertaking my thesis in behavioral neuroscience under Dr. Krishna Melnator. So, yeah.
Yeah, so just to give a quick answer to publication, rigorous science takes time. And if your project, if your mentor and you choose to be part of a PhD project, say, or a project running with a postdoctoral fellow, I mean, a larger project, then you do some experiments within your span of time, which is 1 year, 8 months to 1 year, depending on if you're adding the summer into it. Then you contribute in that project. So then that makes an avenue for you to get an authorship in that project. It may not be first author, but it will be a publication where you will be acknowledged in the form of an authorship, not really acknowledgement at the end of the paper, right? And then that will take its due time. But when it comes out, you can, of course, say that in your CV when you graduate out, you can say that this is a work in preparation and this is where your authorship lies, right? You can discuss out with your mentor. That carries a whole lot of value. But rigorous science takes time.
Maybe I can jump in over here, Kasturi, because this question comes up often because people look at whether my CV will have publications at the end. Now, speaking from the other side, often having recruited for a wide variety of people, one looks for exposures and an understanding of what research means. And to be very honest, quick publications tend to distort the understanding of what research really is. So I would say the philosophy at Ashoka would be to make sure that the master's students have great diverse exposures on the most cutting edge of instrumentation, making them capable of working in any industry or any lab in the world, depending on choices in academia or actual bench work or policy. But for them to also understand that serious research worth communicating is very different from any research. So we would love our graduates to know the difference and also be capable of making a difference.
Yes, Anurag, one more point. So research here, I think this is the right place to mention this. Research for those who are interested in non-academic fields, right? So you may be wondering, what value is of research to me, right? But research is a methodology to think critically.
Yes.
So you need that analytical skill in any field you go. How to ask a question, how to solve this problem, right? Even if the problem is given to you, how to really think critically and analytically to get that problem and answer, right? This skill, even if you are interested in a job right after your master's, and I hope you'll be successful, this will come handy at every step of the way in your life, in your career. So research is for everybody, and our program has been designed so, a 2-year program, so that it's kind of a flavor of a short PhD. Not everybody wants to do a PhD, right? But in a PhD, you will have to take core courses, you have to take course curriculum, and you have to do research. You're doing exactly that within 2 years of time. So you don't have to do a PhD, but you can get a flavor of serious research, doing a master's program, and get onto your way of non-academic field, whichever way you want.
The next question is, the results of a few exams are not out yet and will take time. Is it okay to submit the application before that?
Yes, I'm so happy we are getting all relevant questions. Thank you guys for that. Yes, so you can apply. And this is a very common, I should not say problem, but and not even a concern. This is a common trend. Your admission will be contingent upon your final results. And our scoring system does not include the final results. And this is one of the reasons why our scoring system does not include the final results in an objective way. So SOPs are very important, where we actually look for how much driven you are, what is your already existing analytical capability that we can, help you hone further, and how you think about a problem, right? How serious you are about making a difference in the society, and your letters. We have distinct guidelines for SOP. Please follow those so that we can judge you well, so that nothing is left out in assessing your intention and your motivation. And of course, the letters, make sure you communicate to your letter provider how you want it to be, and what are the qualities of yours you want them to highlight. And we need them timely. That is an important thing, because letter providers are very busy. So you want to ensure from your side that we need the letters timely, because they hold a whole lot of value for us to be able to assess your abilities.
There's one more question. Is there a restriction on the number of students admitted for the MSc program?
So this year we are targeting for 25, 20, 25, 30 maybe, depending on the pool that we get. So if you are if the pool is extremely good, then of course we will go up higher. But if the pool is not good, we will restrict ourselves. So remember, we are looking for students who are really motivated and can or is willing. They're willing to design their own specializations, because one thing, as you would know, you may have heard about Ashoka, our pedagogy does not involve spoon feeding. So we want we actually teach the students how to learn. So the students, as Kangana will tell you more maybe, that we will guide you. We are facilitators, but you'll have to do the rest. You'll have to run the race for yourselves. So motivation is an extremely important quality that we look for. And of course, your abilities and your background. But again, background is less important if you're motivated, because you learn it along the way. That's what we are looking for.
There's one more. Please give some examples of projects in ecology and evolution. Will there be fieldwork involved?
Let me try to make a start on this and then pass on to Kasturi, who knows the department even better than I do. But if one of the very important parts of Ashoka is fieldwork is very much a norm, encouraged, and the department, in fact, periodically asks the faculty members, do you have students who would like to go out for fieldwork? And the department supports such activities. A lot of what we do is at intersections. So, for example, if one wanted to look at evolution of viruses or evolution of viruses in bats, you have to go out and catch them, but then you also have to do the genomics afterwards and look at mathematical methods for evolutionary biology. So it is a combination of fieldwork and lab work. It is something that we could find faculty who would have 90% fieldwork, 10% lab work. You could have the other direction as well. And what I have been finding amazing about Ashoka is that people are willing to get out there to find the best answers to questions. So for example, if you want to look at innate immunity, you really cannot study innate immunity entirely in the lab. You have to get out there into the real world and look at immune pressures and how things change. So you'll find lots of interesting things happening there. And from what I understand, even in archaeology, now glaciers are thawing. As glaciers will thaw, bodies will come up. Those bodies will contain pathogens with opportunities to study, but you have to be there on the field to get it done. Within the next few months, we'll have India's first mobile sequencing lab. So with pore-based sequencers mounted on a custom designed van with biosafety level 2+ facilities to actually look at environmental surveillance at the genomic level in the field directly with completely on-cloud workflows. So yes, there is a lot of field work for those who want to do it. but it's all tied back to fundamental biology or application biology. Kasturi, over to you.
Yes, one good news. Thank you, Anurag, for that lead. One good news is one of the webinars, I think the next one will be held by the students. The one after that, we will be featuring at Anurag's place another faculty from the Eco-Evo field. So Anurag represented one field that we specialize on, and then Eco-Evo will be featured in the next webinar. So stay tuned, stay connected, and you can please feel free to attend that. We welcome you. Even if you're not from Eco-Evo field, you may find that helpful. So that'll be, I think, the third one coming along. Please stay tuned.
All right, we can take one last question and then we can slowly start to wrap up. Are internships a part of the program? Does Ashoka assist with getting meaningful internships?
Yes, and Anurag, Anurag, you get started on that, then I'll join.
Yeah, short answer is yes. When we're imagining the digital health track, helping people find appropriate internships is a very important part. And like I said, we're already starting to plan how these things will emerge spontaneously with the best connections possible. And already, for example, for those interested in public health, we have lots of opportunities through our very strong connects with places like JPAL, CCDC, PHFI, so many of these things.
Yeah.
Over to you.
Yes, thanks. So yeah, as Anurag said, that we really do the hand holding. We do not do during your course curriculum. You design that, but we really do good amount of hand holding to get you the internship that you want. I encourage you to actually download the MSc Biology handbook from the website. There is a short blurb, or you will find other things useful as well there. But then we also talk about the internship there, how the help that you will get from us on the internship. And we will do our best to get the lab that you want, to get the industry that you want. And of course, you will have to qualify the interviews that, the industry would want to hold, or the lab will want to test you on. And what we also do is, if one lab or one industry that you want to join for your internship, which is, for the research, I'm talking about research internship where you will do your thesis for that 1 year. So if they have a particular requirement, then we have the option of you studying that subject or subject area through ISM, which are the independent study modules. So through an ISM, you can actually design an ISM with a faculty where you are studying that particular thing that your future employer for your industry or your lab would want you to brush upon or develop the abilities on. So that option you can build in as an auditing option, or a credit option through an ISM module. I mean, independent study module.
I also want to quickly add in the Kharana program for scholars internship that I mentioned. I wouldn't have gotten to know about it if it wasn't for Ashoka. Ashoka, the biology department, they always look out for opportunities, and they will mail you about it if there is any opportunity that is relevant to you or your course. And also my application process, the professors here, everybody is very helpful. So yes, Ashoka does assist all their students with getting meaningful internships, and I have had the experience. So there's one more question. Is it mandatory to have any research or dissertation experience?
Not really. If you are writing your SOP, if you have any, you mention it, and you mention the learning from your internship that you've had. But if you've not had any, it's not a problem. So the SOP, what we are looking at, we are not looking for your dissertation in the SOP. So you will find in the admission portal as well as on our website all the details that we want in our SOP, which excludes your dissertation. So we are not looking for any research that you have had experience that you have had before. But if you want to get research experience, right, if you're interested in any particular field of research, it wouldn't hurt or may add in your SOP if you can tie it to your interest. And again, that may not be the interest that you want to pursue at Ashoka, right? If you have any mention when you come to Ashoka, the world is open to you. You may change your mind, so that's not a problem at all.
With that, we can wrap up today's webinar. Thank you for joining us for today's webinar. I hope you enjoyed being part of our discussion on MSc Biology at Ashoka. Kindly note that the recording for this session will be available on Ashoka's YouTube channel in case you would like to share it with your friends. Before we wrap up the session, we would really appreciate it if you could please take a minute to share your valuable feedback with us. The link to the feedback form is provided in the chat box. Please note that the deadline to apply to the MSc Biology program at Ashoka University is 26th April 2024, so apply soon. The application link for the same is provided in the chat box. If you have any further queries regarding the MSc Biology program, feel free to write to us at msc_biology@ashoka.edu.in. Once again, I thank our prestigious faculty for taking out time to participate in this discussion, and this brings us to the end of this session. Please take care and stay safe.